Hi. In the last video, I presented you with an overview of emotional intelligence, otherwise known as EQ. In this video, I want to talk to you about the first of 4 components of emotional intelligence that I'll be speaking to. This component is called self-awareness. And the self-awareness component of emotional intelligence is likely the most important component, so pay close attention. If you think about a time when you had a situation that you were really angry about, or you were really upset about, or maybe you were really happy about. I'm going to take the example of one where I know I was upset about. I could feel my body, tension growing in my shoulders. I could feel how I was getting this little tingling up in the shoulder area. I was leaning a little bit more forward into that conversation versus kind of sitting back and listening. And I wanted to speak. So what I was recognizing then with just this physical change that came over my body is my reaction to what was being said to me. That right there is self-awareness. And the self-awareness part of EQ is understanding how you are reacting to something, how you are experiencing something that's being said to you. It might be something great, it might be something really terrible, but it's understanding what your emotional temperature is at the time. If you think about it, if you could think about having a glass and utilizing this glass to say, hey, my glass is red right now, which is I'm fired up about this in some way, or my glass is clear right now, meaning I can see clearly, I understand my own emotions, and I can see how they are going to help or hinder me in this situation. So I can see clearly, I have a clear glass. And sometimes our glass is a little bit cloudy too. It's not red, where we're really fired up about something, and it's also not clear, and it just means we maybe need to get a little bit of clarity. There are 3 important questions to self-awareness. The number 1 question is, what am I experiencing? What am I feeling right now? The second question is why? And the third question is, how is this going to impact my actions or behavior? So how are these emotions going to impact my actions or behavior in the situation? When you know that you're having some type of emotion around something, and let's face it, we usually do around difficult things, what I advise you to do is stop. Hit your pause button in your brain and think about it. Why am I experiencing this? How is it going to impact my behavior? What am I experiencing? That avenue of self-awareness is going to help you process things a little bit better. So then when you get into the part where you have to speak up, you're going to be more well thought out because you're going to understand where you sit on things. So stopping, I think, is very helpful. Also, talk to somebody who you trust and say, hey, this is my read. This is how I react to this, or this is how I'm experiencing this. What do you think? What's your read on this? And so talking to that trusted person can be really helpful too. I also think too, just leaning into those emotions and asking yourself over and over again, why? Especially in these days where there's so much discourse in our world, whether it's politics or racial inequality or different issues, social justice issues that are out there. We live in a really tumultuous time, and so sometimes when we lean into things, even if they're uncomfortable, they can help us better understand who we are and what guides us. So then when it comes time to developing our emotional reaction to things and our emotional response, thoughtful response to things, we can just be better aware. I also would suggest too, as you recognize what these experiences, your feelings towards things, just take and understand that your emotion is not good or bad and stop treating it as such. So don't judge yourself, just understand what it is and start asking yourself why. So those are some tips on self-awareness. And in the next video, I'm going to talk about, now that we understand what we're experiencing and how we are coming to terms with the emotions surrounding a situation, how do we do self-management? So how does our self-management kick in, or self-regulation kick in with those? As always, I welcome your questions and your comments, and you can also email me at kelly@kellyfrager.com. Thank you.